Hello again, welcome back to the Unloved Garage channel. Now you join me here at about 11:15 at night because this car is ready for paint. Didn't want to go to bed without having it done. Again, do what you need to do to get the results you want. So here we are, it's ready for paint. Before we get into that though, let me just remind you that this weekend, this Sunday more specifically, is our back in the day show. So all the cars like this, anything before 2005, tickets are available still. The link for that is in the description of this video below. Now, you get on your tickets, I'll get on with this. Let's do it. So back on my 33, primer's on there now, it's dried, so I'm about to sand it all off and just soften that line up a little bit there because of how it needs to blend. And then, once we've done that, we're going to re-blue, obviously, the white bit and mask up the whole car where it's necessary so that we can re-clear coat the whole thing. Same on the other side. Much smaller repairs on this side, just localised to where they are. But again, put blue on those, clear coat the whole thing and blend it all back together. Alright, so let me show you the reality, if you can pick it up on camera, of what you're dealing with. So you just seen me do that first two coats on this, so it's starting to blend together now. I'm just going to go around and do the top coat. However, you can see a texture in it on camera, and that is basically a chemical reaction. Now this is all panel white with the same stuff as I always use, and rarely these days have an issue because I've found the sort of technique, if you like, of doing it. But that there, all that texture should be just smooth, like for example, like that's laid there. It should be like that. So now we've got to wait. That's got to dry thoroughly, sand it back off, re-primed, and then start again, put more fresh blue on it. So unfortunately for tonight, there's no point really moving further, so that's gonna hold the job up a little bit. So we'll pick it up tomorrow morning and we'll deal with that. Alright, so picking up from the last clip, I'm in the booth at the moment, so I apologise for the noise, but we have dealt with the issue on 33, the blue 33, let me show you. So the reaction's gone, dealt with, it's been resprayed in blue, it's now going to get done clear coat, all that will be back to normal, you'll never know. Meanwhile, yellow Skyline's progressing, there's bits and pieces still kicking around, well, pretty much everywhere, but it's starting to look like a car. We've got the front windscreen in there. As I said, the side one's already in. Tape's there just to keep it in position and let it all dry, but it is starting to look pretty cool, to be honest. So, front windows are in on both sides. We've now learnt that they're tinted. Ben's putting the interior together. Rear passenger windows in, rear driver's windows in. So simultaneously, while I'm doing that in there, which will be clear coat next, James is on with the 34, putting the kit on that, and Ben's doing the yellow 33. Now, what I mean by that isn't good news, let me show you. We've had the car running up to temperature this morning for the first time, and it didn't sound or look too healthy. Thankfully there's no residue of it, but it was oil smoking quite a lot. And then we had a rod knock as well, but it's a real shame because of how it looks as it is now together. So we're now dealing with that at the same time. So we are now like Wednesday on the week of the show, and we've still got that to deal with. We're pulling the engine back out as we speak to try and jump past it and try and figure out where we need to be. But let me show you the 34 and show you where we are with that at the same time. So James has started putting the rear quarters on properly, which is what all the gaffer tape and stuff at the top, trimming it all to fit and starting to make it work up there. James is there. Talking about, you're not to you. Talking about, you're not to you. And then he's making the front end fit together. So on the front of these, there's a difference in the bonnet. So basically, the GTR front bonnet has a completely different shape up the front of it, and the bumper that's there doesn't fit the GCT bonnet. So the intention is that what James starts to do is cut the sort of triangle out, trim it back a piece at a time, make it all fit, and then start rebuilding it from there and go back together. But slowly, and let's see what happens. All right, there we go. So clear coat's done. I've just unbagged it. It's been a couple of hours or so just taking all the masking bit of tape and paper off, and it's come out real good. If you have ever seen this car in person, for the last sort of 12 months, it's had a really sort of flat finish to it, and all the excuses in the world, ultimately it was me holding the paint gun. And this time, it was me holding the paint gun too, but this time I've done it right. So it's only comes down to me. As I said in the previous video, we're talking about the engine setup for the 34 now. The 34 is going to be built basically the same as I've done the 33. So RB25 DET, big turbo, same one that I showed you in the video. We've got a couple of these laying around, and I've also got a manifold downpipe and stuff for it as well. So there's plenty of stuff that will be going onto the 34 as it progresses. But when the 34 is at the show this weekend, none of that will be done. It'll be the sort of bare minimum that will be done as far as getting the kit on and stuff like that, because we are, as you saw the title of the last video, if you didn't see it, go watch it. We are trying to build 5 cars this week, and it's already midweek, and we're having nothing but issues with certain things. But success story on this one, at least, this one's out of the woods, ready to be done. Next thing we've got to deal with on this car is the wheels. Let me show you why. Now, since I bought these wheels, I bought them second-hand with tyres, and I just thought I'd throw them on the car, and that was it. Never worried about painting them, but obviously now that the paint's all fresh, the wheels look really, really tatty, so I'm going to have to deal with that, respray the wheels. What colour are we? So the wheels are off the 33 now. It's on some temporary wheels, which are quite amusing. I think you might like this one. You definitely skip leg day. I mean, come on. It's lost. It's literally lost. Wow. Yeah. That's definitely not it, as they say. But progress is progress. Yeah, they're just temporary wheels that we used to roll cars around the garage. They came on black FTO, I believe, which is still on the ramp up there. Story about that one, but I'm not going to tell you right now, so that'll be good for another day. Let me show you the 34. So Jim is currently working through rear arches. Simultaneously, we're doing the front end, and we've now got what looks like, on camera at least, a complete front end and a few bits to deal with a long way, because that's sort of how the bonnet lines up. And if I show you the right perspective, we've already trimmed a bit off, but it doesn't actually line up. So that's what we're working with at the moment. And then 33, engine's out, engine's stripped down, and we're just sort of filling these up with WD. That's not a good sign, that one's done. And seeing what leaks down. That one is pretty much dry. The rest of it's all sort of there at the moment. Alright, so the 33's out of the booth, and for reasons that I don't know, there is, if you look carefully, Elevenses. No idea what that is, but what I do know, Ben's got the wheels ready. I'm going to do those and repaint them. Alright, so all done, painted, ready to go back on the car tomorrow morning. We're just going to let them cure overnight, just a little bit harder. Same thing with the car, all done and painted as you've already seen, but we did just want to leave it here for the night just so it's hard. Just swapped over the steering wheel, haven't figured out the horn button yet, that's why that's not on. Bought that a little over a year ago, and I've now just fitted it, so let's hope, yeah, I suppose. Now, I'm going to have to bring you, hold on, that's better. I'm we have to bring you to the real elephant in the room. Now, I've shown you where we're at with the yellow Skyline. James has just pulled all the pistons out of it. I'm not going to be able to show you, but I'll show you anyway. Look into the bores. There's a lot of markings on the bores. Now, I honed these before it went back together, and all the piston rings were intact. But you can't actually see any of the hone markings despite having sort of 0 miles on it yet. There's just a lot of scoring on it. Now, they were the right rings for it, as you'd expect. It was all done the way it should be, as you'd expect. But the more you touch and feel inside the bores, they are drastically rough. And all those marks that you can see, you can feel, and obviously that's not good. So what we're thinking is we might have to change the block, annoyingly, which means the little block that I've got set around waiting to be built for the R34, aka the one that's in there, we might end up having to use that block with the crankshaft from the R30 to the yellow 33 and rebuild the car on that spec, just to try and keep the car on and progress, because we're not, as I said, we're not building the 34's engine just yet. We've got, you know, the car and a few bits and pieces underneath to do. So we could, technically speaking, do that, and then I could in my own time send the block off to be honed and remachined, and even if I wanted to overboard, and we could do a forged bottom end for my car, but that's all on my schedule on my own time. But you know, they're options and ideas we've got realistically. But as to keep the yellow 33 on track, unfortunately, that might be the only way we can sort of go with it and try our best just to keep it on track. But we'll come back to that tomorrow and see what happens with it. But yeah, the 34, James is sorting out the lip. So the one major sort of issue we've had is on a GTT bonnet, which is what that is. You get the GTR style front bumper because this is a Z-Tune kit, as I said earlier. The bonnet and the bumper don't sort of line up, so that we've cut, James has cut, I don't want to put it, a little piece off the front of the bonnet because it overhangs, if not, sits over the bumper. They're a completely different style. And then you've sort of got to make the two work together, which is what he's on with at the moment. So the bumper's sort of clamped in place in various directions just to sort of get a shape to it. But it is, as you can tell, starting at least to come together. And I love how it looks personally. And if it works out how it does in my head, I'll love it even more. So that's a good thing to look forward to in the future. But at the end of the day today, that puts us, the blue 33 is done. That's gone backwards like usual, the yellow 33. 34 is doing forwards, that's always good news. And then tomorrow we're doing the work on the purple Subaru, which is outside at the moment. We'll get that rattled off, get that painted. That's another one done and ready for this weekend. If you haven't got your tickets yet, as I said, the R stuff's available. Link for that is in the description below. But that's enough rambling from me. I'm going to see you in the next one. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you are subscribed. See you again soon.